Do you also find things like manifestation, flow state, super woo-woo and not scientific enough? Well, let's examine that claim. What is it precisely, and how can we enter a state of flow state in a very scientific manner? Listen to this podcast. Let's say someone wants to manifest money or love. Those are some of the most common manifestations people want. So let's go through that precisely, how someone could get that into their life.
Okay, so what's important to understand, and I do have some principles for this, by the way, too, is that there needs to be clarity as to what it is you're experiencing in terms of challenges, gaining clarity of what you don't want to experience anymore, and then understanding that by understanding what you don't want, you can have clarity as to what you do want. And this is a process that is so much easier to get clarity on when you write it down. Like, I'm experiencing this and I don't want it, and then writing down what it is that you do want. The beautiful thing about all the challenges and all the things that are happening that are related to what you don't want is that they create clarity as to what you do want. So looking into your past, for example, love experiences or past jobs that you had where you know that you didn't like certain things, just remember that those things are also showing you what you do really, really want. And then the other aspect is to be able to, just have some clarity on how to create safety for yourself, how to regulate your nervous system while you're in the process of releasing resistance from, like, for example, not feeling like you deserve what it is that you truly want. There's like resistance in those areas, and so any feelings that come up, you might notice or realize that those negative feelings are what you don't want. So you can actually make a meta manifestation process where I know that I don't want to experience these feelings when I get into my process of manifesting, which means that I would clear on how I do want to experience more like relaxation or ease in the manifestation process, more playfulness, more appreciation, instead of like negative emotions as frequently. So
this is this is nice. Okay, so I've noticed that a lot of people that want something, they're coming from a lack of need. I need this, I don't have that, and that creates a loop of negativity where you're stuck in this process of just going downwards instead of coming upwards. So A, how do you stop this loop of going downwards? And B, and once you stop, how do you spiral up?
So the way you stop going downwards on the spiral of negativity is by acknowledging where you are, which is, all right, emotional honesty, activation. I feel these negative feelings. Here I am feeling them. And isn't it so wonderful? Isn't it so great that so many people have been in this situation of negativity, or in this like level of negativity that I'm at, and even worse than where I've been, and have still been able to manifest miracles for themselves, where they feel so much gratitude, relief, and appreciation for the manifestations that do come into their experience, where they oftentimes will cry about how beautiful something is happening for them, that it's like a healing experience that's helping them realize and remember how fear has always been fear has always been less real than love. Love has always been more real than fear. That's what miracles in this context of manifesting help people realize. So
optimism.
Optimism.
Okay.
And it really starts before the optimism is the emotional honesty, getting clarity as to like what is real, what is the emotions that are being felt without any judgment, just pure acceptance as much as possible. Like, hey, this is part of being human, to feel like whatever it is. So desperation, discouragement, shame, fear, guilt, etc. Like, no matter what it is, being able to say it openly is one of the hardest things, because emotional honesty can be very difficult. So that's why I would recommend making sure that you can create a safe space for yourself to hold yourself with love before getting started with the emotional honesty.
Yeah, and so I want to interject with a small personal anecdote about emotional honesty. Your form of emotional honesty can be vastly different than most people think it should look like. So, for example, I was always a guy that was in my shell and never able to express myself on camera or to people. So earlier this year, what I did, I shaved my head and beard, and I wrote down on. I started to make a YouTube video about what I was going through, and my goal was I will be emotionally open and work on the fear of visibility. I put that out on my Instagram. So it's like your form of emotional honesty could be anything, whether it's journaling on private or just being out and upfront with everybody. Be like, this is my trauma. This is what it is. But then the second part comes in, which is optimism. So now you laid down, okay, these are the problems that I want. Now, you said that love is more real than fear, which means that there's a gateway to an upward spiral, optimism.
Yeah.
Okay, so a person acknowledges their things. Now, they're told that there's a way out. What do they do now? What is that way up into optimism? So let's say someone is looking for money, because they don't have that in their life right now.
Yeah, so for moving up the spiral, it's a combination of two different powerful questions that can be asked in different creative ways. One of them acknowledges what is possible in the realm of infinite possibilities, and the other acknowledges what is already real and that is already positive, that's already unfolding. Basically, you could say counting your blessings, but counting your blessings in a specific way where you want to really feel how good it feels to notice the positive things in your life that are going well.
Okay.
And the goal is to ascend into a state of appreciation that's unconditional for everything in your experience, every single thing, as much as possible, especially all the bad things, or perceived bad things.
Okay, so this is interesting. So you didn't just say count your blessings. Like, you didn't say, I have a house, I have a car, so I should be happy. It's more like, I have a house, and what does that make me feel like? It makes me feel protected at night, that I can sleep well. So experience, like, feeling the feeling of that blessing, right?
Yeah, so the reason why I said they're questions instead of statements, like, for example, I'm so grateful that, or I have a house, or I have all these things. Statements are not nearly as powerful in conversational hypnosis, which conversational hypnosis in this context is using it on yourself when you ask yourself these questions. So the reason why statements are not nearly as powerful as questions is because they don't open portals for the mind to explore. And portals for the mind to explore create a trance, which is what questions do. And so when you ask a question to yourself or to someone else, what that does, according to hypnosis, or the expert hypnotists of the world, is that it creates a trance of contemplation, where the person's consciousness starts to access the resources of their memories and their subconscious to find the answer. And that whole process in and of itself is a trance.
Okay, so it's like almost like if a person is going through this negative cycle, you would ask them, or you could ask yourself, why am I blessed? Kind of.
Why am I so blessed?
Yeah. Why am I so blessed? And then you start to look, wait, why am I blessed? And then that starts.
Actually, why is, like we said in our last episode, is one of the most powerful questions in hypnosis. But the questions that I'm gonna share here in a bit don't utilize the word why. They can if you modify them in certain ways, but the main principles of these questions is negation, which is the principle of, like, don't think of a pink elephant. Is an example of negation.
Yeah.
And what that does is that, like, when someone tells you to not think about something that you want them to think about, or that they want you to think about, then you can't help but think about it.
You ask certain questions in a way that induce or ask the subconscious mind to look for things that you desire.
Yeah, and then they utilize negation as well
Okay.
to activate the unconscious searching for the frequencies of the types of experiences that you do want to create or that you do want to acknowledge.
So let's make this practical. So let's say I'm looking for love or money, one of those. Let's say, so a person that's looking for either one of those experiences a lack, and that's why they're looking for it. So what would a negation of one of the questions that you were saying would look like? What question should I ask myself?
Yeah, isn't it so great that people who have gone through the same or similar challenges that I'm going through when it comes to searching for love have been able to find the love of their life? Isn't it so great that there's so many stories of people who have gone through these types of challenges that I'm going through,
Have found it.
have like been able to manifest it, and they're so happy and they're so grateful, and they're living the life of their dreams with the love of their life.
Right. Okay. So now I feel motivated. I feel optimistic. Now what?
So now you can also ask, like, wouldn't it be so great to find the love of my life where I experience the level of playfulness and harmoniousness and depth of connection that I've always been looking for? Wouldn't it be so nice to experience all of these things?
Yeah.
And what that does is that it activates the negation, which is would it not be or wouldn't it be, on a subtle way. So what that does is it removes resistance because it goes straight to the source of the frequency of what you desire to experience. Wouldn't it be so wonderful or nice if, and then the if question, or the if part of the question activates the imagination. And that allows your mind to go into the realm of infinite possibilities, which is the imagination, which is also the quantum field, which is also the spirit world, whatever you want to call it. We usually call it imagination, of course, or the quantum field, whatever it is. And you'll be able to tune into the frequencies of the realities that you would love to experience with less resistance. And then you can continue to build into, like, isn't it so nice that because I am experiencing the wonderful feelings of wondering how good it would feel to be in the relationship of my dreams, isn't it so great that by feeling these wonderful feelings, I'm tuning into becoming aware of how to align with that reality more and more with every moment that I practice this.
Okay. So in this process, it seems like you tune yourself into that frequency of the thing that you're searching for. But first, you have to tune yourself before it actually comes into reality.
How this relates to action as well is, like, the actions that you take don't matter, because the frequency will guide you into the right actions. So what I mean by don't matter is, like, if you're taking actions from your, like, thinking mind and ego of, like, what your logical mind says you should take action on, it's not going to be nearly as effective as taking action from the frequency of being in alignment with what you want.
And how do you know? How do you know that action is actually coming from that frequency? Like, how do I know? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because it might just be my ego mind.
Okay. So I'll give you an example. You creating this podcast, you had a feeling in the creation of this podcast that has been, or multiple feelings that has been motivating you to basically publish, right? Have the end results of publishing multiple episodes of podcasts. And you've experienced a lot of fulfillment in this process, have you not?
Yeah.
So, how much have you noticed or realized that you've experienced the feelings of the fulfillment of this podcast before you even published a single episode?
How much fulfillment did I experience before publishing?
Yeah, how much fulfillment did you experience in imagining how good the podcast would be
Oh, okay, I see.
before?
Yeah. Like every time I film a podcast, especially with Edgar, I'm like, yo, I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So that means that when you decided to invite me for the podcast, does that not mean that you were in alignment with the frequencies of fulfillment in taking the action to create the episodes that allowed you to experience the end result of the fulfillment?
Yes.
This moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the imagination itself gave the feeling of fulfillment before the actual result even came in. Okay. So then the fulfillment doesn't actually come from the reality of it coming. So yes,
Like it doesn't come from the full physical manifestation
yeah,
of it.
right.
Yeah.
It comes from the quantum, the imagination, whatever it is,
Yeah.
before it actually comes.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So now the trap that I find myself a lot of times in with that statement is, let's say I'm looking for sponsors for a documentary I'm making, right? And I'm like, okay, let's imagine myself, how it would feel if I got a sponsor.
Yeah.
Super excited, super motivated.
Yeah.
Then I wake up the next day, I'm like, wait, there is no sponsor. Then it feels like a crash.
Oh yeah.
So then I'm at a high one point when I'm thinking about it, manifesting it. Then I look around the next day, I'm like, what is this, psyching myself into some esoteric feeling? Like, do you know?
You're like, where is it?
Yeah, where is it?
So there's like the frustration, or
Yeah.
sometimes it could be discouragement.
yeah, exactly.
And that does slow the process down.
Okay.
So the goal is to get so in alignment with the feeling of the wish fulfilled of you having experienced the sponsors in such a way that you have fully released all importance from it, because the importance of having it creates the resistance. So the less resistance you have, the more easily you align your whole reality so that you know what actions to take at the right time and how to do it and why, and everything aligns into place because you're on the frequency for it to come into your experience. In a similar way that this right now, this process or podcast right now, is part of the process of the full manifestation of it being published in such a way that you feel fulfillment from like releasing it. You feel fulfillment from people's beautiful comments about this episode.
Yeah.
So in this kind of way, the remedy for your challenge would be to align with that reality in such a way where you are completely okay and completely accepting with the reality of you never getting a sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Because when you get into that, you're like, you've released all importance from it. And that means you've released all resistance, which is what can manifest it happening so much faster. In such a way that you might even experience getting a sponsor today or even tomorrow if you are able to align into a, for example, a miraculous experience within this podcast episode right now, where you realize that, oh, I can reach out to this one person, I can ask them who they might know who would love to sponsor me. And that person might be so excited to share with that potential sponsor that they reach out to me today after I reach within the same hour.
Right.
So that's why it's possible to manifest it very quickly.
Okay.
Or that's how it could happen. There's infinite ways for it.
So this is an interesting, maybe not a contradiction, but okay, I'll call it a contradiction. The reason that we're searching for something, alignment, let's say love, money, is because there is an importance to that aspect to life for us. That's why we're like, how do I manifest this? That's our why, because it's important.
Yeah.
But the part of the process of the manifestation is to let go of the importance.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm trying to manifest it in the first place is because it's important.
Important, yeah.
So then how do I reconcile that contradiction or apparent contradiction?
That's a good question. So there's nothing wrong with it being important as long as there's no resistance to that importance, because there's two types of importance that comes from like neediness, and importance that comes from like heartfelt desire, like true desire from your heart, where it really deeply resonates with your being.
Right.
Yeah.
Bashar has a quote where it says that insistence is resistance, and like when you insist, you resist.
Yeah, and the insistence is coming from like a neediness, like it comes from negative emotions and fear, for example, of not having what you desire. When it's so much better when the importance comes from love and appreciation for how that reality is so possible for it to happen, how like you're so excited and eager to experience it, and you're completely not attached to it with any negative emotions whatsoever.
Okay.
You're completely aligned with like feelings of appreciation, satisfaction, joy every time you think about it. You're aligned with like being open and playful and exploring what other emotions you can allow yourself to feel into. Like, wouldn't it be nice if it was also a miraculous experience for me and I felt so much relief, so much gratitude for it.
Now my question is, a lot of times you're gonna fall into that neediness, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to get yourself out of it. It's like microwaves each day. Like every single moment, you might have like a neediness. Oh man, I wish I had this much. But wait, once you recognize that neediness, from that step, how do you get back into the frame of love?
So there's different techniques for getting out of the neediness and then moving up into higher frames of love. And the way to do that is to like gradually shift your perceptions around the story that you're telling yourself as to like what is you perceive as the problem or what's causing you to feel that neediness. For example, in this case of you wanting to get a sponsor, there's some resistance, and it's important to identify that resistance, because when you identify that resistance, you'll realize what it is that you don't want as well, right? And then you'll also realize that there's a way to become aware of what you actually want.
Okay.
So that process of moving up will be done through the questions of, wouldn't it be so nice if, and isn't it so nice that?
Okay.
You could also, instead of using the word nice, you could use a spectrum of other types of emotions, or words, adjectives. Isn't it so great that? Isn't it so wonderful that? Isn't it so satisfying that? Isn't it so miraculous that? For example, things like that. So whatever you want to use, you can like adjust it to the words that align with you the most. So we'll start with what it is that you perceive as the resistance for you and finding a sponsor, and what you don't want in relation to like what's happening, like what is happening right now that you want less of, or that you don't want at all.
Right. Let's say the reason I want a sponsor is because I could do bigger things and like go bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so what's the resistance about? Like what are you scared of? What are the negative emotions around this?
Let's say the negative emotion is, damn, I'm gonna have to sponsor this myself or find a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like it seems like there's anxiety about how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like there's some fear of like not moving in the direction correctly, so to speak, right?
You're right.
Okay. So fear and anxiety in relation to that, is there anything else that you would say is the resistance?
Fear, anxiety. I'm a perfectionist. I want it to be right. To be right, I need sponsors.
Okay.
I want to spend this money to buy this, so it looks like this, and you know.
Yeah, which are all valid. Like, and that's how most people perceive the process of attaining or achieving goals, right? And so what can be done here is there's a perception that in the belief of struggle is necessary to achieve goals.
So that again, in the belief of struggle is the necessary.
It seems like you believe that struggle, and this is what most people believe too, that struggle is necessary to achieve your goals and get what you want.
Okay. You have to struggle to get your goals. And yeah, that is a very widely held belief, right? We gotta grind, we gotta put in the effort, do the things that we don't like to do to get the thing that we want.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is that that's not actually true. It's a belief that you've just adopted, and yet you could have fun along the way.
Yeah, isn't it so great that people know how to tap into flow state? And because they know how to tap into flow state so effectively, they feel zero fear or struggle in the process of achieving what they desire and experiencing what they desire, because they are so good at flow state.
Okay.
Right?
What is
Isn't
flow
it so
state?
great? Flow state is where you are taking action in an aligned way with no resistance.
Okay.
So that's how it relates to manifesting. Pure flow state, you have zero resistance when you're taking the actions to do it. There's no struggle.
There's no struggle. Okay.
It's just pure like mindfulness and appreciation and playfulness and immersion in the experience.
And is that
And
available?
you're just going the direction of your desire. Yeah.
So is that available every single moment?
Depends on how skilled you are at creating it.
How do you create it?
So it's related to, you can manifest it.
Okay.
You can manifest, like, wouldn't it be so great to be the type of person that can achieve flow states super easily? And notice how good that makes you feel. And then notice like the colors and textures and sounds associated with that reality. And then we can do a process where you can really embody and expand and play with it and create more satisfaction, like it's like clay.
Right.
So that's how you can embody it when you go through the whole process of finishing doing
Is
that.
it fair to say flow state is the line between your comfort zone and what's unknown? It's like walking that thin line, and when you do that, you're not falling in either direction. You're not just comfortable, but you're also not like constantly scared of what's unknown.
Yeah.
But you're like, you're dabbling. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the comfort zone will also relate to skill, like how skillful you are, and then challenge, like it's flow state is in between the sweet spot of challenge and skillfulness.
Interesting.
And that can also happen within the manifestation process. In the manifestation process, you can get into a flow state. And what I would recommend is writing in creative ways through the two questions of wouldn't it be so nice if, and isn't it so nice that? And you can even add the I am affirmations inside of those questions. Isn't it so nice that I'm feeling so good talking about manifestation in this podcast, for example. And I feel amazing, and it feels exciting. I feel aligned with what I'm saying. And it feels like it's gonna be helpful for a lot of people. Isn't it so great that I'm feeling so good about how helpful this is gonna be for people? So that's why you can add I am statements in the questions. Or wouldn't it be so nice if I am, and then etc.
Yeah, my personal experience with flow state has been like following my intuitive hits. So one of the things was I was always afraid of dancing, and I got this kind of a very small micro vision. I was just at a gym working out. I'm like, what if I just go to Zilker Park and start to dance in public?
Yeah.
What if I do that? I'm like, oh, it's so scary. But at the same time, this vision has just captivated me. Like, I want to do that because it's so scary.
Yeah.
And like when I did it, it was so much resistance to doing it, but like after the experience of, even I was scared, awkward the whole time, but it was like, yo, this was fun. So like your intuitive hits will kind of guide you and nudge you in that direction.
Exactly, and dancing actually is one of the best ways to learn about manifesting
Really?
and communication. And the reason why is because manifesting and dancing and hypnosis and harmonious relationships are all interrelated through the concept within hypnosis called pacing and leading. Pacing refers to, before I go into that, I'll say that what's important to understand about manifestation is that all manifestation techniques, and this is like one of the biggest secrets, all manifestation techniques are self-hypnosis techniques.
Oh, interesting.
No matter what.
Okay.
Because when you're visualizing, your intention is to hypnotize yourself into creating that, into that being real for you.
Okay, so you can
Right.
hypnotize yourself, and that's what manifestation is.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I know that when I've gone to hypnosis things, what they do is they put your mind into a trance. The theta brain wave.
Yeah.
Because it's more susceptible to receiving input. But when you're self-hypnotizing, how do you get to that same state of mind?
Yeah, you can do that very quickly through self-regulation techniques. And one of the most powerful ones is this technique called havening, which is where you like hug yourself and with the intention of really soothing yourself with a lot of like nourishing love for yourself, as if like you're soothing your inner child. And it gets more effective the more you like intuitively allow those intentions to grow and expand as you do this, and you breathe in deep parasympathetic activation breaths. So an example of that would be inhaling into your stomach, into your chest, and then sucking some air in, holding for a bit, exhale. So we're gonna do that 2 more times. Your stomach, chest, exhale. 1 more time. To your stomach, to your chest. And fully let go all the air from your lungs and notice how much more relaxed you feel.
Right.
And you do that while you're havening with the intention of soothing yourself. What this does is it also starts to create delta waves in your brain, so that really can relax you into the theta states as well, because you're producing delta, which means that you're also attuning to theta, because it's just like in alignment with that. Isn't it so great that you can notice how much more aligned you feel with that reality?
Yeah.
The more you like allow yourself to feel how good it feels.
Yeah.
To align with it.
Let's get real. So this entire podcast, the camera shut down 4 or 5 times. Initially, I started to feel frustrated. I'm like, damn, this is not going the way that I wanted to go. So now diagnose me through this. There's anger, there's resistance. This shouldn't have happened. Why is this happening? This, just like last podcast, we were into the flow state, but this one, interruptions. I'm angry. What do I do now?
Oh, okay. So it's better to say I feel angry instead of I am angry.
Okay, I feel
Because you
angry.
don't want to identify with the emotion.
I'm not angry.
Yeah.
I feel anger.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I feel anger is there in my body, and I can move it away from my body, and I can perceive it outside of myself.
That's beautiful.
Notice how you can, And so now it's that anger there.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're dissociating from it.
Right.
This is a self-hypnosis technique as well. Especially when you use your hands and move the emotions outside yourself.
Let me do that.
You can say like, I have been feeling this anger that was inside of me. And it was frustration and anger, and now I can move it outside myself.
We're
Now it's-
objectifying anger. Okay.
Now it's that anger instead of this anger. It's that anger.
That anger. Okay.
And isn't it so great that this anger or that anger has been showing me what I don't actually want, and which means that it's showing me what I do actually want.
Right.
Which is a podcast where there's no interruptions. And isn't it so great that there's been a lot of people who have experienced podcasts with interruptions, and now it's possible to experience. I wanted to take it into what you were sharing about sponsorships.
Correct.
And what you started to become aware of in terms of what you don't want, which is like the fear, anxiety about getting it perfect, and like figuring out what you really need to do. And then what else? There's one other, maybe it was the perfection aspect.
Yeah,
But
perfectionism. Yeah.
Perfectionism, yeah. So those different, struggle. That was the third one that I was gonna say. Like, to soften the frequency of the belief that struggle is necessary, and allowing yourself to notice how good it would feel by tuning into the question of wouldn't it be so nice if the whole process felt so easy, felt so fun, you had so much clarity. Wouldn't it be so great if you had so much clarity as to exactly what actions to take because of how aligned you feel?
Yeah.
And in creating and manifesting the experience of getting a sponsor or 2 sponsors or 3 sponsors who really love the work that you're doing. And wouldn't it be so great to know exactly how to reach out to them, how to communicate with them in ways that get them excited about sponsoring you? Wouldn't it be so great to like feel completely comfortable in the whole process and safe and super confident in feeling aligned with taking the next steps?
Yeah. So you're asking how would that feel? Is what you're asking, right?
I know I asked, wouldn't it be so great if you felt those ways?
Wouldn't it be so great? Yeah, it would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to feel that.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't it so great that right now, by me asking you these questions, you're tuning into much better feelings in this moment?
Right.
And isn't it so great that by tuning into these feelings in this moment, you're more able to notice how and why it can unfold in these exact frequencies that are so aligned with what you want to create?
Okay. So let's say I do that. You go up the frequency. It feels great. Okay, awesome. Now I feel great. And then you look around and be like, wait, it hasn't happened. Am I just like delusional?
Okay, so this is perfect. It hasn't happened yet causes you to feel a certain emotion
Yeah.
of like, but I want it to happen, right? Like there's, what would the emotion be called? Like frustration?
Yeah.
Maybe it's discouragement?
Right.
Okay, so
Because like when you
know you
what
don't want to feel those feelings
Right.
in this process.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that it's helping you get clarity on what you do actually want. And isn't it so great that it's helping you get clarity as to like how you actually want to feel in this process?
Right. Yeah.
Instead of like feeling or having thoughts of like, it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Like that's a specific reality that we can put like to the side right here. That's where you're feeling it hasn't happened yet. Whereas, or I'll say, isn't it so great that there's positive things about you being aware and emotionally honest that you get into these states of it hasn't happened yet, and then the discouragement and the frustration. And isn't it so awesome that it's also showing you the realities of what you do want, which is, man, like, I feel like it's already happening. I feel like I'm so excited about how it's gonna feel. Isn't it so great that you can imagine like yourself experiencing, isn't it so great that I feel so confident and comfortable in knowing that like I can already kind of see the signs of it happening. And one of the signs is Edgar talking to me right now and aligning me with the frequencies of like how real it can feel because of how like I've already felt the fulfillment of publishing podcasts. And isn't it so great that it was once a dream and now it's real?
Right.
Which means that this sponsorship experience was once a dream and now it's real. And you can move all those positive feelings into your experience right here.
Okay.
So that is now. And these positive feelings of like, okay, I know I can notice like how and why it's unfolding. And that means, and isn't it so great that it means that I can take the most aligned actions naturally and automatically?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So it's about building that excitement before it even comes, because the fact it's not really contingent about it coming or not. It's just the process is the goal, kind of.
Yeah, the process is something that you can experience with a lot more fulfillment and flow state and satisfaction and appreciation than you ever thought was possible. Which makes it more and more inevitable for you to experience getting sponsorships.
Okay.
Because of, for example, right now, if you align with the action of how good it would feel to receive the clarity from your intuition of who to reach out to. It might be a friend, it might be a coworker, it might be someone you know who's really wealthy, whoever it is. And sending a text to them or a message, email, whatever it is, that's like, hey, I'm doing these things. This is really meaningful to me. It seems like it would be really meaningful to you to like co-create something together. And I'm looking for sponsorships, so if you're interested or if you know someone who's interested. So that's an example of like how you can be in that frequency and take actions from that excitement and sharing that with someone else, inviting them into the co-creation, and that taking those types of actions through that intuition can align you with the reality of, oh yeah, I'm so grateful that I have sponsors. Isn't it so great that I have these amazing sponsors? They love what I'm doing. And the process of like me communicating with them and creating them was so much easier than I expected that it could be.
Right. So a practical thing for that would be like, let's say a person doesn't have a job and they're looking for a job, but they're like, I will dress nicely once I get this job. But it's like the exact opposite. You're like, you dress nicely so that when the job comes, you are ready. Kind of like, I want a wife, I want a girlfriend, but I'm gonna live in this messy car in this messy apartment so that when she comes, then I'll clean up. Instead of, I'll clean up my car, my apartment, because my wife, my girlfriend is coming. Kind of like just anticipating, like, yo, it's almost here, it's coming, it's coming. And like, okay, so if it's coming, who do I need to be to have that experience come to me?
Yeah.
Well, I need to be well dressed, I need to be clean, I need to be excited about what I'm doing. That's kind of what you're saying. Be like aligned before it even reels in.
Somewhat, yeah. It's less I need to be this, or these things need to happen for me to be in alignment. It's more about like tuning in to the relaxing into how good it feels to have what you want in this moment. Like having the wife, the girlfriend, the job, the sponsors. There's realities, there's infinite realities where you feel super satisfied and you're allowing yourself to relax in these experiences of having what you want. Right now, like for example, you can relax in knowing that you have published a lot of episodes. Isn't it so great that feels so good, and it's been so fulfilling to experience that in this moment right now?
Yeah.
And that people watching this episode will feel like they are feeling supported and they're feeling like grateful for the podcast that you're releasing. Isn't it so great to tune into these feelings right now and notice how, because I've been able to manifest this, I can also manifest other things that seemed way out of reach the way that this used to feel.
Right. That is true. Right, this podcast did feel out of reach until I started to act on my excitement, and now it's like, now it's just what I do.
Yeah.
Just who I am.
Now it's just normal.
Now it's just normal.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for the next thing, and the next
Exactly.
thing is just gonna be just like this.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, the word normal usually has a negative connotation for spiritual people like us, but it's actually very powerful. Another substitute word for normal would be natural.
Right, I love that word more.
Yeah.
It's natural.
So we'll use natural.
I'm a natural podcaster now.
Yeah, it feels super absolute, like it just feels so natural to be in this reality where things have worked out for you with the podcast and people are so grateful for you for it. So that's the key, like frequency to tune into, like how natural it can feel to receive sponsors.
Okay.
Or a job or a wife, whatever it is, like that can just be super, not just a natural thing, but it can also be like, it can have some hints of satisfaction, appreciation, in a similar way that you're already feeling satisfaction, appreciation for this podcast that you're publishing.
Right.
So we're bringing it back to the present so that you can like really understand.
Right. Yeah, just like this podcast is to me, what is now is what sponsors are gonna be. Yeah.
just as natural, if not more natural, than this.
Interesting. I heard the quote where if you have this deep desire for something, it's already built in your life path. Because you were given this deep desire, this deep conviction of wanting that, because you were supposed to get it. So
Yeah.
then you could just relax.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. And also, like, what else can help you relax is, like, is the techniques for relaxation and combining what colors and sensations or textures and sounds are associated with these feelings of deep relaxation. For example, for me it would be like pink and earthy browns, like pink from flowers, and then greens from the leaves. And so it's like being in nature, and creates like a state of profound relaxation. So associating these feelings of profound relaxation with the desires of what you deeply want, you'll start to notice that that association of combining the desires with their own sensations and colors with the feelings of relaxation will automatically start to make the whole totality of the feelings of what you desire as natural as nature, because nature is always relaxed.
Yeah.
Like water and the trees, they don't, like, they never try.
Yeah. They just are.
That's what makes them beautiful. Like a beautiful woman never tries.
Right.
And when you're lucky, it's not like you tried.
Right.
That's why the Chinese say there's no difference between luck and beauty.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because
Is this a state of existence?
beauty never tries, and neither do you when you're lucky.
Right. It just
Because you're so
who you are.
relaxed. Yeah, you're relaxed.
Oh, and do you have a personal
Yeah.
story of this like exact thing working out for you in your life? Like something that we could share?
Yeah, this moment.
Okay.
Because like the reason I say that is because I'm guiding myself into the process of like how good it feels that I'm doing this podcast right now.
Right.
This is a manifestation for me to share like with a lot of people, and then to feel like it's just so natural for this to be in this experience.
Yeah.
And it's feeling even more natural because as I guide you to relax into it, I'll see the more I guide myself into relaxing as well, and vice versa. So it's like creates a
Feedback
loop.
loop. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think another powerful example of how things have manifested for me was in the co-creation of a PDF that I created about manifesting, which was in the form of like through Canva. Had all the information present for it, and it was already organized. And I asked my friend if she could help me in the design of the color scheme of it. And so we got to work. We were doing it together on our phones. We never met in person, so we just had a beautiful friendship and romantic connection together. And she's someone I still talk to right to this day. We did this a year ago. And the way everything unfolded in that process of the co-creation of that PDF was just so aligned and satisfying and natural. And so that became a co-creation that like I love to share with other people as well. So yeah, I can, that's actually a PDF that I have as a free resource on my Linktree if y'all want to access it.
Yeah. Ibram Hicks, her manifestation. What is she about?
She's about guiding you into experience, or she teaches how you can guide yourself into the experiences of profound appreciation and satisfaction, the way that I've been sharing with you actually. Like everything that I've been sharing with you is very influenced or heavily influenced by Abraham Hicks' knowledge and techniques, especially the questions of wouldn't it be so nice if, and isn't it so nice that? And what it's all about is entering the vortex, what she calls the vortex, which is a field, a place within your imagination where you're experiencing the feelings of what it feels like to have everything that you desire already manifested here right now. Like, what is that like?
What is that like?
Wouldn't it be nice to be able to tune into that? Wouldn't it be so great, so nice to tune into that every single day, whenever you want, to feel what it feels like, to have every single desire that you want manifested here and now. And that is a state of appreciation, unconditional appreciation for everything in your experience. And so that's what she's about, is like guiding you, and also helping you remember how you can always do that for yourself, and that when you access the vortex on a daily basis, you're tuning into your true self, which is unconditional love, and you're able to manifest more easily, with more joy and flow state and satisfaction in the process of creating your manifestations.
Okay, true self, higher self.
True self, higher self, like how are they different?
Yeah, tell me about them. I only knew about the higher self. That was the true self. But
I have like a distinction between all three. Like, they're all interconnected.
okay.
So I say all three because I also refer to lower self, which oftentimes people will think of that as something negative. But to me, the lower self is the inner child. So there's the lower self, the inner child, the true self, which is the heart center, your authentic self, the gold, the shine, the radiance that you crave for through your heart. And then the higher self is associated with the upper chakras.
Upper child. Oh, I love that.
The upper chakras, yeah.
Upper chakras, like the intuition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you can know how to move between all three, like, you can definitely access more wisdom and more power through your inner child. Is like the creativity. It's also sexual energy.
Right.
And then your heart center as well. You can like expand things. So wisdom guides the love and the power. The power expands the love and the wisdom. And the love channels, directs the wisdom and the love, or the wisdom and the power. So the love channels and directs the wisdom and the love, kind of like a spiral, because your heart center or your true being is a fractal. So you're like channeling your focus into more and more narrow, like forms of the fractal of your awareness and consciousness in the direction of what you want to create.
Okay, so your heart chakra or your true self gives you the direction. Your inner child or your lower self gives you the creativity needed, and then your higher self is what has the wisdom to actually execute that. Yeah,
it has the clarity. It has the ability to help you tune into your desires more easily. I think it's getting a little blurry. Oh, there we go. I think that could be a fun part of the podcast. Yeah. But anyway, we're so high frequency that it got blurry.
We put the frequency into the camera.
So yeah, man.
That's cool. I want to wrap it up, but so I heard this thing about the 3 brain centers from a different guy, and it's so fascinating that you brought up, but in a different way. He said that we have 3 brains, which is the thinking mind, which is 1 brain, but then the heart, which has so many neurons that actually has more neurons than the thinking brain, something like that. And then lastly, the gut.
The gut, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
it's related to that for sure.
Yeah, it's so cool to see like the gut, the heart, the mind. He packaged it like that, and you packaged it the 3 selves.
Yeah, and where I'm coming from is definitely, of course, more spiritual perspective, but I would say it's also more purified in the sense that from the Abraham Hicks perspective, where when you tune into the vortex, your higher mind, your brain, is more purified in being able to access intuition from the divine, as to like, that helps you create clarity as to what you want.
Right.
Then the heart is also more purified, so you're more able to tune into like really authentic states of love. And then of course, like, the lower part is more purified because that creativity and sexual energy is being channeled in ways that really serve your greatest good. So
All right, so you lead with your heart, with the wisdom of your higher self, with the creativity of your lower self. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
yeah, like if you want to work with me in having a session similar to what you experienced here, of like asking these dynamic questions that can be really helpful in these subtle shifts that can manifest some beautiful miracles in some awesome fun ways. Yeah, you can definitely DM me on Instagram, or you can also schedule a call in my link tree on my Instagram as well. And
Edgar's a great guy. Once again. Okay. Let me. So
yeah,
that it's clear.
it's blurry.
Okay. Do you want to shout out yourself again? So now that it's clear.
Yeah. Oh, again.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
cool,
one more
cool.
time, because it's. I want to put the clear part for
That
your.
makes sense. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so if you want to experience more of what I offer, especially what you experience here in the session or what I've experienced here, you can definitely reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM, and you can also schedule a call with me on, it's my Calendly on my Linktree. So if this resonates with you and you love some support, love to help out here for you.
Links in the description. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.